So let's see the metabolic abnormalities in the gastric outlet obstruction syndrome. So what happens in gastric outlet obstruction? Due to the obstruction of the stomach, the undigested food particles get vomited. The vomiting will be typically of it's a non-bilious vomiting, and it see the stomach is rich in potassium and chloride. This is HCl. Sorry, hydrogen and chloride, HCl, right? So so in the vomiting there will be loss of H plus and chloride ions. That's so because of loss of H plus ions, the initial metabolic abnormality is hypochloremic metabolic alkalosis, because the H plus and the protons are lost, so it is metabolic alkalosis, right? So now the kidney comes into play. It tries to compensate for the loss of protons in the vomitings, right? So to increase the protons concentration in the blood, the kidneys will reabsorb. Initially, in the initial days, the kidneys will reabsorb the, let's say this is a blood vessel, so the kidneys will reabsorb the H plus ions for the exchange of sodium and potassium. So in the urine there will be potassium and sodium loss. So now we will call this abnormality as hypokalemic, hyponatremic and hypochloremic metabolic alkalosis. Now in the later days what happens, the kidney wants to conserve the chloride loss. So now what happens means, see here, the sodium will be reabsorbed into the blood. Now the sodium loss will be stopped. So when the sodium is reabsorbed, the chloride follows the sodium. Now the sodium is reabsorbing, right? In the exchange of sodium, H plus ions and potassium ions will be eliminated. So in the later stages, there will be elimination of, this is the final stage, there will be elimination of potassium and H plus ions. So H plus ions are losing again in the urine. So this is aciduria. So the ultimate metabolic abnormality is hypokalemic, hypochloremic, hyponatremic metabolic alkalosis with paradoxical aciduria. See, they are calling paradoxical aciduria because in the urine, normally in metabolic alkalosis, the urine should be alkaline in order to, in a trying of conserving the, in a trying of eliminating the bicarbonates, and the urine should be alkaline. But here in the metabolic alkalosis, there's paradoxically the protons are eliminated. See, already there will be loss of protons in the vomitings. Now on the top of that, the protons are also losing from the urine. So that's the reason why this is paradoxical aciduria. Okay, have to just remember this. Just remember this. Yeah, you remember this. And the treatment is for gastric outlet obstruction syndrome. You have to correct the fluid abnormality initially. So for that you have to use N/2 sodium plus 5% dextrose plus potassium which is around 20 to 40 milli equivalents around. And note, we have to add potassium only if the kidney is functioning normally, because otherwise it will burden to the kidney to eliminate potassium, and that will lead to hyperkalemic complications like arrhythmias, muscle weakness, etc. Okay, that's it.